All right, well, let's get started then. Welcome, Yam fam, to our weekly community call. We have this every week. Now it's continuing on Thursdays as it was before. If you guys were at the last 2 weeks one. Let's get started then. Welcome. Who's that? Oh, yeah. So it's let's see, it's on Thursdays now, at 6 p.m., just same time next week. If you guys are here, just try to keep yourself muted unless you're speaking, just to reduce technical difficulties. Let's see, we're going to start. My name is Fedes. You guys all see me in the Discord. And we're going to skip the team introductions. We've done those in the past. But I would like to open it up to any community members that would like to introduce themselves. Just quick name, Discord name if you like, and some background if you've got a chance. Anybody would like to do that, just go ahead and unmute yourself and have at it. All right, continuing. So community questions or comments right now. We're going to do this at the end as well, but if you guys have anything pressing or important, you can speak up now. All right, very cool. All right, so let's get into it. So past week in governance, we're going to try to time box this for an hour. It shouldn't be a problem this time. We'll save a little bit of time at the end for community questions about what we spoke about today. Let's see, past week in governance system reforming guide. As you guys might have heard, Ross has written up our governance system reforming guide. We're looking into updating it. There are some things that need to be improved upon that in the past we've had comments where people think the governance is too slow, too fast. This piece is a little bit, doesn't quite work, et cetera, et cetera. So Ross has put up a long thread on kind of what the current process is and what are the pieces or questions that we're looking into. We're going to continue this discussion after this call at around 7:30 p.m. UTC. So that's in about an hour and a half. We're going to do it on Discord, just as a chat. We'll open up a new Discord channel. So everybody's welcome to join and partake. It is a very important piece of Yam. As you guys know, Yam is a DAO, which basically, if you have tokens, you're the one who governs the entire Yam ecosystem. So your vote matters, your count matters, your vote matters, and your voices matter. So come in, speak to us, let us know what we can do better as far as governance goes, and we'd love to hear it. All right, so another governance thing that has already passed a while ago was the degenerative.finance UMA farming. So basically where we're going to deploy the treasury to farm, to mint UGAS Feb and UGAS March to essentially farm UMA, but also to provide liquidity. I'll be discussing this more below about, we had a chat with the UMA team to kind of go over what's the best, since this is a new product, and specifically a new product for degenerative finance, we want to make sure that we got all our P's and Q's crossed and dotted and such, so that we don't screw up something. So there is a lot of decisions that we need to discuss about this. So listen up. It's going to be a little bit further down in this call. We're planning on putting about $100,000 of liquidity of UGAS/ETH liquidity in both of those contracts, around $200,000, and that's coming out of the treasury, which we voted for in the past. V2 migration update. As you guys know, we are ending V2 to current Yam migration. What's happened is I've sent out a request for feedback to the exchanges that currently have V2 listed to see how long they need to give their users or guests or whoever that's holding V2 to migrate. So basically, we're going to make an announcement on the 15th that says, hey, well, we got your feedback from the exchanges and whoever else is listing V2. The general consensus is that you need 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months, or whatever it may be, to notify your users for us to end the migration contract. So this is the best way to do it. This way, it allows them to notify their users, to let them know ahead of time that this is going to end, that you need to migrate, because once it ends, you're not going to be able to get the V3 YAM, which is the current YAM. V2 YAM currently, from what I've seen in the contract, there's only about 300,000 V2 YAMs that are outstanding that have not migrated yet. So it's not that much in the first place. It's not that big of a deal, but we want to make sure that we're doing this correct. On-chain voting proposals. Okay, so Nate is working on the contract for the YAM Treasury to provide UGAS. Nate, do you have anything that you would like to add?
Yeah, not a ton. Just hoping to finish this up today or tomorrow. Then, of course, we also need 0xe to set up a Discord bot to notify channels when prices are, out of bounds, basically.
Yep, very good. And then 250,000 WBTC purchase is deferred until YDS launch. We should have, looking at the prices now, that might have been. It's okay. It's better this way. It's good for us to test YDS when it launches with this big of a purchase. Anyways, it's something that we would like to do. We're going to do smaller tests before then, but when it launches publicly, it'd be good to have this as one of the things that it's going to do. So anyways, upcoming in governance this week, YAM Guardian multi-sig. Trent, if you would like to speak about this. Or I can speak about it. Go ahead.
Well, you can also go ahead.
Okay.
You want to do it?
Oh, yeah, sure. So there's a Guardian. There's a Guardian that is basically the only thing it can do is veto on-chain proposals that might be malicious, or that we deem as a community deems as malicious. So right now, as you guys know, all of our processes can be done by anybody, meaning that if you want to submit an on-chain proposal, you can actually do it. And this is something that we'll discuss during the governance call with Ross. If you want to submit a governance proposal on-chain, you can do it. This is why there needs to be some sort of guarantee that somebody doesn't just say, hey, I'm going to submit a proposal and steal the treasury. So there's a Guardian account that all it can do is just basically stop any of those proposals. It's currently held, the keys are currently held by Brock. We are going to go to a multi-sig so that it's not all, the power's not all held by one person. So right now we have two, this is a forum post. Take a look at it when you get a chance. Right now the nominated people, there's 5 people that are nominated. There needs to be 2 of 5, right, Trent? Is it 2 or 3?
I think we're doing 3, so that minority of the 5 can't act in a malicious way. Because theoretically, you could hold this is a big responsibility. Theoretically, you could hold the protocol hostage with this Guardian. Just reject any proposal until you pay me X amount of money. So we want to make sure that 2 people can't collaborate to make that happen. The 5 that are nominated right now are all longtime contributors and committed to the success of YAM, financially incentivized towards the success of YAM. It's not a concern, but that is why we want to do the 3 of 5 versus the 2 of 5.
So it'll be a 3 of 5 multi-sig.
Also making sure that they're not all within the same jurisdiction as well, for just in case regulations change, that sort of thing.
Yeah, we did want a minority. This was a great point that Hoddle brought up last week. We do want a minority of American-based representatives. Theo asks, where is Ronin based? The East. Actually don't know 100% where they're based. But that's information. I'll just ping him right now and find out.
His name is Ronin for a reason. So wandering. But yeah, he's not in U.S., Canada, or UAE, so he's definitely not going to be in one of those countries at the moment. So we've got 2 from USA, 1 from Canada, 1 from UAE, and 1 Ronin. If you guys have any suggestions, I mean, these are like Trent said, these are long-time contributors with a vested interest in making Yam better. Anything else? Any questions? All right, degenerative finance. So let's see. We've got quite a few updates that went live on the website. A lot of just visual updates to make it look better. Also documentation updates. But Trent, if you don't mind, if you can go over any additional updates and improvements that you have on the top of your head.
Yeah, I mean, just the main thing that we're trying to get out is the APY calculator, so that we can start pushing some messaging around what the returns are like if you mint and provide liquidity on the UGAS contracts, particularly for February and March, because right now those have very, very low liquidity. And the easiest way to get more liquidity is to let people know that we're going to pay them to provide it. So that's kind of the big push that we're working on now in terms of update to the website. It's nearly complete. 0xe sent me a test link last night that had that information. And we're also with one of our kind of devs that we're working on onboarding, working on creating a personal gas usage calculator. So similar to a fees.whatthefuck, but allowing a user to see, in the past 30 days, how much gas they used at what average cost, basically giving them the information that they need to be able to make an accurate hedge. And I think those are the 2 main things we're looking at. And we'll also talk a little bit more about like those liquidity incentives in a little bit more detail later on in a second.
Yeah, that's coming up right soon. Another thing is that there's a docs.degenerative.finance that we put up. It's basically like the Git book, similar to the one on yam.finance. If you guys get a chance, go in there and take a look. Just to give any feedback, anything that's unclear. I tried to make it as kind of clear and step-by-step. It is a little, if you haven't looked into minting of UGAS, it does get a little complicated. So understanding what you're doing when you're minting and why you're minting it. And, there's also the global collateral ratio, your personal collateral ratio, the minimum collateral ratio, et cetera, that might be confusing. So definitely take a look. There's a glossary in the FAQ. But one of the things that is most confusing that I've found from people asking questions is how withdrawing, depositing, and redeeming works with UGAS. So there's like a 1 or 2 page outline of how it works. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ping me and let me know. All right, so we're getting into the meat of what we need to discuss today as far as the UMA mining rewards. So the way that we see UGAS moving forward, as you guys know, it just launched recently. We're still trying to figure out exactly how best to market it, how best to use it, how best to get the rewards out of it. But currently, the way that we see it moving forward is it's a hedge. I'm sorry. Sorry, we're under quarantine because my babysitter got positive for COVID, so My son is going to be in the background. Anyways, so moving forward, we're trying to figure out what's the best use for for UGAS, and what we're thinking, and what's it's basically it's best used for hedging or speculation. Hedging in a sense where you want to make some money back if the gas prices go up too much, or you can short it. Okay, so as far as the rewards go, which is very important to provide liquidity. So there are for the rewards. The way it works is that UMA will provide Yam finance the rewards, and then we will distribute them. The way we can figure out what's the best way to distribute these rewards is important. So the rewards will help with liquidity in each of the different months contracts. So in currently, hold on one second, Trent, if you have a second to take over.
Yep, no problem. Sorry, I just lost the screen. Where were you in this? On what point, Fez? Sorry.
All right, I should be able to continue. Give me a second. We got to get him some ice cream or something. Okay, so basically, where was I? So rewards, how do we distribute them? How do we get liquidity into the right contracts so that we can make sure that the whole system is safe? As you guys know, we have January, February, March contracts. Right now, while we're in January, we want to focus our liquidity on February. The reason for that is because this is a hedging product. So we want the most liquidity in February. And then March, we want to roll over the liquidity into March, probably at the beginning of February. So this is all still up for discussion. And part of what I'm going to do after this is put up a post for you guys to give feedback on. So as you're listening to this, if you guys have any questions, just jot it down, or we can discuss it later. But as far as rewards go, we have the option to distribute rewards two different ways. First way is we can choose to either give out rewards to people who mint an LP, which means that you mint UGAS, then you combine it with Ethereum and provide it as liquidity on Uniswap to gain the rewards. Or in the past, UMA has allowed people just to buy the UGAS tokens and then LP those so that you don't have to actually mint it. The benefit of just buying the UGAS token and pairing it with ETH to gain the rewards is that you don't have to provide the collateral to mint the UGAS. So if you have to provide the collateral, you're providing a lot more money because you can only mint UGAS at a fraction of your total ETH collateral. So this is one of the two options that we have to figure out. The caveat to just doing, it sounds like just minting or just only LPing a UGAS with ETH to get rewards sounds better, but it does cause problems with the contract. What happens ultimately is that people buy up the UGAS, thus making the price go up. And then the liquidity, as far as the total number of UGAS tokens, might not be as high because people are minting them. And then you get people that will probably come in and try to short sell the UGAS because it's too high off of the 30-day median. But if you mint, there is a risk of liquidation if the price of UGAS rises too much, or if the price of ETH falls too much. So it's a complicated balance, and we want to get the community's feedback on what they think might be best. The second thing that we can do with the rewards is weight them depending on which month's contract that we want the most liquidity in. So right now we should be putting in more liquidity into February. So chances are the rewards can be weighted heavier in February and less in January or March. Even January, we might be removing them altogether because we don't want to incentivize the liquidity in January. We really want to push it into February. So these are questions that we are currently in the process of figuring out. We would like your input. And the last thing is that since we're using the Treasury to provide liquidity to mint UGAS tokens so that people can buy and sell them, we need a procedure to basically roll over the liquidity. Because if we mint in January, if we provide liquidity in January, eventually January's contract expires and we need to remove that liquidity to move it on to February or March. So all these things are in discussion at the moment. If you guys have any suggestions, let us know. Trent, is there anything that you'd like to add to that?
No, I think that pretty well covers it. Obviously, we've been in a lot of discussions with the UMA team on all these issues, and they've given us some great feedback. And ultimately, they're like, "It's up to y'all what you want to do and how you want to handle it." So we have the ability to kind of make whatever decisions we want here. I think because of the context we have on all of this through talking with them, we'll put together a proposal, as Fedis has said, and outline kind of our rationale there. And we can always kind of iterate on that going forward. But I think in general, we have enough information to make a really educated decision on all of these issues. And hopefully we can get it mostly right from the get-go and then kind of tweak things as necessary. But we'll put together a pretty comprehensive proposal on how we want to handle all this.
Yeah, just to let everybody know, just to keep a heads up for the fact that January rewards might end soon. So definitely keep your ears out. And these things, once we get into a good rhythm of how to do this in the proposal that we're going to put out, that way you'll know kind of what's going on. But we won't do anything immediate. If anything, we'll always give a heads up, let you know that, hey, it's going to expire in a week or something. You might want to figure out a good time where gas prices aren't that high to migrate the liquidity. So that will be coming up, and we'll be discussing that more in detail later. Anybody have anything to add or comments?
Just a comment about the price fluctuations and remembering that as we move liquidity from the Treasury's liquidity from one month to the next, we do have to be careful about price spikes and attacks for liquidations and things like that. So that's still up in the air as to how we manage that. Obviously, we would like there to be a lot of liquidity even before the month starts and during the beginning of the month. And then by the time the month closes, then it's not an issue after the month closes. But we are handling a large portion of the liquidity, so it's basically it may be wise to incentivize the month ahead to get community liquidity pushed out there too, to help protect against those.
Yeah, the other thing I'll add real quickly is that in our conversation yesterday, UMA did let us know that one of the interesting things that we can do is if Yam looks like it's nearing under collateralization, anyone can actually deposit into Yam's collateral balance within UMA to prevent liquidation. They can't withdraw that, so we would have to then go through a reimbursement process. But it is kind of an extra little safety feature that's possible if Yam's ever in danger. Someone could go dump dump some extra collateral into their account to prevent that, and then we just reimburse that that amount.
Yeah, so we'll decide on some parameters for that when we discuss it. But that's good. Anybody else like to add anything?
Yeah, I've got a question, designer. So, so there's some things that need to be figured out and voted on. Those are going to impact marketing. I'm just wondering if you guys, we don't have to figure out the specifics of that, but just from a general projection of time to get to these decisions, are you thinking like a week out, 2 weeks out?
Very soon, as soon as possible. We need to get this rolling because we're already in January's contract. Yes, based on what Uma's basically explained to us, we've got a pretty good idea of what to do. We just want to make sure that everybody's on the same page.
Okay, so that'll keep our marketing on track. And I just noticed in the document that it says UGAS primary use case is hedging speculation. And we have a couple other use cases that we've been talking about for farming and mining. Can you give me a sense, anybody, about the percentage weight of hedging speculation as far as a focus in marketing efforts over the others?
I don't have anything like that. It might be a good poll to put up to everybody that might be using UGAS. I don't think UMA has it either. This product for them, when they created it and handed it over to us, it was very new. I mean, they only had December up, so we're still figuring this out as we move forward. But definitely, it's a great product, and it definitely has a lot of use cases, especially with things the way they are right now on Ethereum's network. But as far as speculation, the speculation covers a lot of different things.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, moving on. So Umbrella Protocol, this is basically the same as it was last week. Brock?
Well, no, because last week we hadn't launched yet. And so I'll take over here. Okay, I want to make something abundantly clear. The UI testing, it's in air quotes, UI testing. It's for the functionality of the JavaScript effectively library that we use to interact with the contract, and not so much the actual, it's not the product that we will be pushing out. Bruce and ZRXE and a few other members have created great wireframes that will be the actual product. But I just want to clear that up for anyone wondering. And so, so far, I'll just give a little update real quick. It currently has $215 worth of DAI in the system, and there have been 4 protections taken out for a total of 32 DAI utilized. And so, most of so far everything's been working as expected, which is good, which is what we have been testing out. In the next, it says max length here is 1 month. It's actually 14 days for this test. Sorry for any miscommunication there. I will say that the primary purpose of this was not for a whole bunch of people to try it out. It's for a select few members to try it out and really just kind of show the progress and show that the contracts are working as expected, and get more people kind of testing the contract in a real life version. And so far everything's working great. In about 6 hours, we're going to have our first settlable, basically be able to test more functionality in the contract as the first protections expire. And so that will basically move funds from the protection holder into the protection providers, giving the protection providers their first return from being those providers. So far everything's going great. I think in the next couple of days, I'm going to effectively shut down any more providing or coverage buying. And so then the pool will start to close out as that'll basically put a 2-week death period. So after 2 weeks, after I shut it down, the protocol will be shut down for this test. So that's pool lasts for a month. And we do have an audit scheduled with Peck Shield. Although there is a slight change that I believe Theo suggested in the forum around small payouts, like if some protocol was hacked for 15% of their total value locked, the payout would be proportional to that. So if you had protection and so that small change may come in the next couple of days. It shouldn't be a big change. It just is multiplying by a percentage for the payout. And if anyone has any thoughts on that, feel free to hop in the forum and look through that.
So Brock, have you been able to test a claim?
I've not tested a claim. We certainly can if you guys are, I think there's only a couple coverage buyers and coverage providers. If the coverage providers are okay with us testing a $10 claim or whatever, then I guess we do say that assume everything is lost. Then I'm happy to do a claim.
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay, yeah, I'm totally down to do that.
Do you want to?
I'll do that today.
Schedule? Do you want to schedule when that claim happens, whether that's today or whatever, and I can throw some money in on both sides or whichever.
Well, so it's going to be. I'm just going to use one of the existing protections. So, like basically, as the arbiter, I just say this protocol was hacked at this time. That's what I put in here, and so then we'll be able to test through either scan, and I can try and get it on the UI as well. That would make a lot of sense to do. But does that sound good? If that's not what you had in mind, let me know.
Yeah, that's fine. I just want to poke all the functions and make sure that we can get that. We can understand the use case, capital efficiency, the workflow of it all, and that we can all sort of like that our design team can sort of functionally write the story about how users are going to use this and why they're going to want to use it, that kind of stuff. So just as long as we've got some on-chain flow and we got a good understanding of how everything works, and it's all cool.
Yep.
And then Brock, the other thing is, can we also then after the claim test a dissolution of the pool?
Yeah, that's. I'm going to shut down the pool relatively soon. The dissolution trend is basically
Let
the arbiter
everything.
says I'm accepting no more positions, no more coverage providing, no more coverage buying, and basically the pool exists until the last protection is expired, at which point everything is fully finished and everyone gets their money out that they put in as providers. So it'll be a good test for that as well. But that'll be in about 2 weeks because of just functionally how, well, if no one else buys coverage, right? So in theory, someone could buy coverage right now and it would push out the death by 2 weeks. But
right, but nobody new could be accepted, right?
After I kill it, no one new can be accepted.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, that's so you're the arbiter there. So you decide whether you're going to arbitrate over any types of coverage, and as long as you say that yes, you're willing to arbitrate over those things, then there can be protection buyers and protection seekers. And when you say that you won't arbitrate over anything else, then they all just expire.
Yeah, they'll go to expiry, and technically as an arbiter, I can still, if there's a hack during that time, I can still act on that hack, because technically as the, I accepted being the arbiter for the length of any protection that was bought. And so technically I have said I'm accepting no new ones, but my role as an arbiter exists as long as the last expiry, or as long as the last protection. And so if there's a hack during that death period, that's okay. It can still, everyone still is in that contract. That's the theory anyways. That's how it's supposed to function.
Not that it's a big problem, but is there more of like a nuisance attack where somebody goes and buys protection for 10 years?
Yes, so there's a max length, and that's customizable by the arbiter. So the arbiter can say, I'm only accepting protections of up to 2 months.
Perfect.
Meaning they'll never have an obligation longer than 2 months. So they can say, okay, I'm accepting no new protections. Therefore, this will be totally dead in 2 months.
Awesome. Sounds good.
That's about all I have.
All right, perfect. Any other questions with Umbrella? All right, moving on. So YDS.
I do. Sorry, Fedis.
Go ahead.
This is an alpha test. And is there then a beta test planned?
Maybe. We don't have a beta test plan right now. I imagine our beta test will just be a soft launch to our Discord prior to our main launch, where it'll be, our beta will be internal, but basically it'll be the full-fledged protocol and UI that we plan to launch, fix any bugs that we find, and then, a couple weeks after, maybe a week after, then we do our full launch. So yes, there probably will be a beta. It'll probably be internal, and it'll probably be the full-fledged product.
Thanks. Sounds
Yep.
great.
All right, perfect. Anybody else? All right, moving on, the YDS update. Basically, we're still on track to be production ready by this month, end of this month. Contracts are still being developed, and the UI is still being developed, the trader UI. We've got a couple of new developers that we're onboarding. Brock, if you have anything that you want to say about that.
It's mainly been 0xe that's been the main interface, but I am super excited. It seems like it's gone pretty well. I don't have a big update here, but I am excited that we're going to have a couple new developers come on. Yeah, sorry, I don't have more.
No, that's perfect. So if you guys out there listening to this, if you know anybody that's interested, just send them our way. We're always looking for good talent. As we move forward with UMA and Umbrella, there's undoubtedly going to be additional coding work if we're doing a newer synths, which we are planning to do for degenerative. We will need additional kind of smart contract developers and other hands, just because it's going to be a continual update, new contracts, development of new synths. Umbrella protocol will likely need to be updated from time to time as well. And on top, as you guys know, one of our big long-term goals is what we call the Yam Factory, where we can basically use the treasury to incubate or venture capital invest into new projects. So if you guys have any ideas and you guys can find a team to build it out with, we can support you in terms of funding or marketing. Just the brand name Yam has a lot of followers already. It's definitely a leg up the potential for new projects. Moving forward, upcoming media marketing. Bruce, if you've got a second, if you want to go over anything that you got coming up.
Yeah, for sure. Hey guys, it's Bruce. So for Yam Media Marketing, our main focus this month is really pushing UGAS to the crypto DeFi community. We're planning a series of threads to spread awareness on how, what UGAS is, how different kinds of users can use UGAS, and how we can really like earn APY with UMA rewards by minting and LPing UGAS. So we have a couple of different strategies to push the message. One of them is doing a series of tweet threads, each tweet thread with different topic on degenerative and UGAS. And we're also planning on doing really boosting like community creative engagement by doing a UGAS logo competition with a bounty attached. There's a lot of like talented people in our community, talented creators, and we want to, involve you guys and get you guys like creating for Yam. And we're also planning on doing like a small like instructional video series on how to use a degenerative site. We're also working on like a creative pitch deck for the Yam DAO set. This is more of like a business to business pitch deck that we'll be sending to other DAOs and offering YDS as like a service that their treasuries can use as well. More info on that later this month. And on the umbrella side, like Brock said, the alpha is really just like for, internal functionality testing. And we're all going to work really hard on the creative side of that and the branding side of that. Jim prepared a very in-depth brand pillars document that we're going to try and visually represent and translate in all our umbrella branding and eventually the umbrella UI. Jim or Chris, do you guys want to jump in too?
Oh, okay. I'll just add that there's a lot of stuff going on right now in marketing, and that's cool. But the most immediate pieces are taking priority as they should. There's still a lot of my focus is top level messaging and concepting around the various agendas, but my real primary focus is the Yam website update. And so there's some progress going on. I've shared with Bruce, we're kind of working on that until we can work out an idea there that would be part and parcel to this Yam site update. But quite frankly, it's still baking. And because I think that the Yam website has some pretty significant kinds of updates it needs to do in order to be able to support this family of products that are being introduced now and will be introduced in the future. So anyway, patience, please. It's being worked on though. Thank you.
All right. So yeah, we've got a lot of things planned. Check out the channel pound updates or updates in our Discord. Help us out with retweeting. Community involvement is, of course, super important for any DAO. So I'm going to leave it up to any comments from our guest. Anybody, any questions? Well, if not, we've got a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of things on the Discord that you can check out. So come and join us, and let's work on this together. Thank you. Have a good day. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys.
Thanks, Vedas. Great work.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.
Good job, guys. And remember, governance chat is in about 45 minutes on the Discord voice channels.